All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the Orange County Funding Corporation Finance Committee meeting. The time is now
4:14.
4:14. Bill, can we get a roll call, please?
Sure. Mark Green.
Present.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Linda Muller.
Here.
All right, we have 3 committee members here, and we are missing one, who's an excused absence. We also have for staff, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras. We have our legal counsel, Lino Sharetta, Rudy Zoda. Caden Brown is doing our live stream. Jones, I want to say Brown, I wanted to say it before, I'm so sorry. Caden Jones, our live stream. Our external CFO, Shannon Manisi, is with us via Zoom, and also on Zoom is Brian Sandridge, our state monitor. That's everyone.
All right. Notice that this meeting is properly provided.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I think we have a couple of things we're going to have to approve today. Because we're gonna have to go back in time, remember?
Yes.
Right.
So, can we start with getting an approval of the August 6th Finance Committee meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Fantastic. Thank you. Any discussions about that?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So, I think this is under new business. We'll talk a little bit about the correction.
Yep.
And then we're gonna have to, I believe, go back and approve those minutes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, please, Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna start with, from last month's meeting, our June, we had 2 pages, June and July, our income statements. It was picked up by the committee that the $250,000 contribution to the food bank for their generator did not show up in the recent months. Expenses. The reason for that is that when we paid it, we entered the invoice that we received, but they gave us an invoice that the food bank received from the construction company, and it was, much earlier. So we put it in, and that was the effective date in QuickBooks, and it doesn't show up on the, it showed up for, I think, May or something like that before, even earlier than that. No, not May,
Yeah, it was
much earlier, exactly. So it should have shown up in May, and now we've dated the invoice, and it's showing up under the May financials as an expense. And in July, it's showing up as well under May. So those 2 pages with the highlights, in your packets, pages 5 and 6, it does reflect that the generator expense is recorded under May for both months.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Any questions about that? Excellent. Thank you all for going back and doing that.
And then we're gonna get into our August 2025 financials, and we'll send that to Shannon and AC to cover.
Hello, everybody. So for August, there was $14.89 of interest on the banks and CDs, and then the monthly management fee that comes from the IDA. The only other thing that's of interest there is the insurance or the professional fees is $27.42, and that consists of an invoice from Harris Beach for $24.08 and $334 for the collections process, which resulted in the next line item, the bad debt recovery of $1336.71, and that was on the Paras Corp receivable. So for the month of August, there was a loss of $8106.52.
Okay. When you say the Harris Beach, what was that?
We'll see.
The invoice was $24.08 for the Paris reporting
Paris,
and
yep.
other items related to that.
Yep. Thank you. Any questions?
I hate seeing negative signs.
Well, yes, but
That's all. No question, just a statement.
fair.
We should have some closing, well, not on.
Not
It's
this.
not on.
No, we don't see so.
All right, then can we move on to the next page or the next item you want to talk about, Shannon?
Sure. So the bank accounts and CDs, there was $18,329 in the operating account, and there is $1.562 in the CDs and T-bills. Provident is up on the 12th of next month. So I don't know if you guys have started talking about that one,
We
and
have.
rolling it. Okay.
So,
You
if
want us to
I,
address that now, or you want to keep going?
That's it for me. You have 1.58 in cash and CDs.
so,
So,
you, me?
Yep.
Okay. So, took it upon ourselves to just start to call around since interest rates were cut. I kind of expected rates to be lower. And frankly, something kind of jumped out at me. Provident is willing to do another 9-month CD at 3.9%.
Really?
Which is pretty great. If you look, TD is at 2.65, JP Morgan is at 2.89, the Treasury rate is 3.6. Now, Provident doesn't come up, like it doesn't come up for a month. However, they have said that if we commit, they will lock us into next month, which I think frankly is between us a gift. So I would strongly urge us to lock that in and get that 3.9% rate for another 9 months.
3.9 or 3.85?
No,
3.9
no,
for 9
3.9, that's
Wow,
what I'm
even
saying.
better still.
It's even better. That's why I was so shocked, and
Yeah.
their willingness to say if we commit today or tomorrow, they will lock that in for October 13th. So I
And for
would,
another 9 months?
and that's for 9 months,
Okay.
right? Because that keeps us with the cadence,
Mhm.
right? Because then we're December, March, 9 months would bring us to May
Yep.
or early June.
Do we need to grab some cash to keep liquid for operating? We don't have very much in operating,
Yeah, we've addressed
or
that.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna be a
Notes
problem.
on that?
Yeah, I of course didn't bring my notes, but give me 1 second, please. What is it, 600,000?
Yes.
Mhm.
Times 1.85 equals that divided by 4 times 3. So we should get roughly $17,000 for the CD when it comes due on October,
okay.
on
Yeah.
October 12th.
Mm.
So we could certainly scrape that
Yeah.
and just leave it and then just
Okay.
do another
Keep it simple.
600,000.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good thought.
Okay?
Wow, that was easy.
Should we make a separate
For
motion
you,
on that? I wonder-
I was,
Yeah, I would think. Separate motion to select that?
For that CD.
yeah, all right, so, let me see, I always screw this part up. Can I get a motion to commit to rolling over the 10/12/25 CD when it comes due back with Provident Bank to assure the 3.9% rate for 9 more months? Can I get a motion for that?
Emotion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we will commit to Provident. Thank you. For 600,000, right, because we're gonna scrape the money so it's in our checking account.
Yep. Good job.
Again, I'm just the eye candy. They're the ones that do it.
Okay, well, good job.
Shannon, did you want to continue on concerning anything else, the transaction vendors or anything?
I don't think so. I think
nope,
she-
that's all Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly, would you like to just chat about it real quick?
Okay, the payables, you can see the Harris Beach for the 2408. That was for Paris reporting. And then for the IDA was the monthly allocations, and RBT, their monthly fee of $350. And then the back page is the actual invoice for the management fee.
All in line. Any questions about this? All right, do we need to approve anything with this?
Go to the board.
You have to
Yeah,
approve the
recommendation.
financials.
The finance.
So we want to do this first before we chat about the projections? or- Okay,
Let's do that.
all right. So can I get a motion to approve these to present to the board tonight?
Also move, and that would be the August 2025 financials, the July bank balance corrected, and the approval of the August-September payables.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we've approved, I believe, everything. We're good?
Yep,
All right, so then do you want to take a few minutes to talk about the budget?
I do, absolutely. So, what you have in front of you for OCFC is all these columns are the budget from 2025 that was approved, and then my projection of what the year ends, totals will be for 2025. And then in green, the 2026 proposed budget. And Paris requires us to provide 3 additional years of projections, so those are the yellow columns. So I'm just gonna focus on the green column with you. If you have any questions on that or the yellow, let me know. Application fees and closing fees, as you see, I'm just projecting for each year that we get 1 application and close 1 project. So, hasn't happened the last few years, but that's just for the sake of arguments how I'm budgeting for it. I also have at the end of revenues, projected interest earnings. And that basically is an estimate of 1.315 million invested with an interest rate of 2.75% and leaving $500,000 in our checking balance, in our checking account. So that is just over $36,000 in estimated projected interest earnings. And then getting into expenses, you've got the management fee expense. Now that is totally linked to when you see OCIDA, you'll see I have in green certain categories of expenses. Those all total up, and it's a percentage of those shared expenses that end up being this number, the $93,000 that's projected for the fee expense.
What's our percent? I don't recall.
It's
15?
86 and 14%.
Seems too high
For
going forward.
idea
For OCFC. Considering we're not doing much the last few years and we're losing money, we're proposing another negative in 2026. It just occurred to me it should come down a little bit. When we don't close anything, I would think we'd take less administrative fees. I like the splitting.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but those are fixed costs. We're taking so I hear what you're saying as far as, more money and less money, but it still costs the same amount that we still have to do Paris reporting, we still have to do all these things, we still have to be open for business.
Mhm.
Those costs have a fixed component to that, they're not variable. So I don't know if you can try to
I'm
do
talking
that.
about the management fee, not the professional fees or the annual audit.
Well, I
the
understand that,
insurance.
but they still have to, they're still the ones that are doing the work. They're the ones that are doing the parish reporting, they're the ones that are doing all of those things. This building still has to get paid for.
No argument with that, but if we don't close the deal, it seems like there's a little less work there. You don't have a public hearing, you don't have the application come in.
Well, I understand that, but it's still a fixed cost. You still have, so should we move out of the building?
Well, we're talking about more than one thing within the management expense.
Let
If
me
you
tell you
don't
what the
have an
expenses are.
application, there's no cost to review it.
That's a variable cost.
Yes.
Right, I'm saying that all of these are fixed costs.
I'll tell you what they
No,
are.
it's in the management fee.
Salaries, employee benefits, payroll taxes and fees, 401k, deferred compensation, travel, lodging and meals, office supplies and postage, and then rent, utilities, repairs, maintenance, internet and telephones, IT, marketing, membership and training.
Those almost all are fixed costs. Those bills have to be paid regardless of whether we have.
But that
some revenue.
14% is kind of arbitrary.
There was a way we came up with it based upon
And I'm just
capital
suggesting
balances.
maybe it should be 10% instead of 14. The IDAs, I'm planning to make money this year and next year. And it's gonna be more demanding on your time than maybe when we thought the proportion was a couple of years ago. It's not a big deal, we're still gonna lose money anyway, it just
I was
occurred.
gonna say, it's a rounding error. I mean, you're saying, you know, if you wanna decrease it 4 percentage points, you're talking about, I don't know, maybe $5,000, $6,000. I mean, that's, to
Okay.
go through the whole
Yeah.
process and to have to do everything again,
Mhm.
that doesn't really seem to do what we wanna do.
Yeah, I don't know how big a process that is, we're just making a budget here. But I'm fine leaving it alone. It just occurred to me that reality plays into this a bit on what's happening.
I understand that, but again, bills have to be paid. And it's not a.
And I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying shift a little bit to the IDA that's making money because of these guys.
Again, I think it's a rounding error, and quite honestly, again, you want to try and shift $4,000. Okay, you know, I guess if you
No,
really
I
feel this
withdraw
strongly
that
about it.
suggestion.
I also think that we are being incredibly conservative when you look at, you know, our interest earnings and such, that, you know, we don't have $500,000 in our checking account. We invest that. And, you know, I truly believe that that number at the end of the year is where it is. I mean, this year, if we hadn't donated the $250,000, you would be looking at a net loss of $24,000. So, again, you know, I think on that front, we're gonna be losing money either way, so.
Fine.
it's-
I agree.
Okay, so that's management fee expense, then going down, still under administrative expenses, $5,000 for bookkeeping, $62.50 in professional fees, which is Paris reporting mostly support, $6,500 for our annual audit, insurance expense of just over $3,600, that's a 3% increase. I do have bad debt recovery budgeted here, but one of Shannon's recommendations is that I don't project that. We get what we get, but otherwise that I don't. So I will remove that next month, or I won't be
And then
projecting
when you
bad
do
debt
get it,
recovery.
we can go hoo-hoo.
There you go, exactly. Under project expenses, $4,500 for legal. I do have $100,000 here as a project expenditure. That is not actually earmarked for anything. That's just a potential request, because we've had them year after year now. They've been coming, so I just have that budgeted. Shannon, any comment on that? Do you think maybe I should not put it in if there isn't anything that we're expecting? I just was trying to, you know, let the financials reflect that there's a possibility of a request.
It depends on what your criteria is in accepting something that you're going to give money to. So if you have a long due diligence process for that, and it, you know, depending on what that looks like, is it going to really happen during 26? Then I would say keep it. But if you know that, you know, you have so much due diligence and it takes longer to facilitate that and give the money to whoever is asking for it, then I would say no. It just depends on what your internal process is like with that.
Yeah, I'm anticipating a
I think
request.
it's been involved, so I don't know.
I'm anticipating a request that again is not there, I know nothing about it, but that a request would come and we would be able to satisfy it, approve it, and, you know, pay out during 26. That's my assumption for this. That it's, let's say it comes in February, our due diligence period is the next 4 months, and then we approve it and the expenditure happens.
So, if you don't know of anything that's coming, where did you come up with the dollar value? Then would be my next question.
It is completely arbitrary, just based upon all the wonderful
Okay.
requests we've gotten over the last
So,
couple
what
years.
if you were to cut it in half, and then at least it would show that you're not
Yeah.
at a complete loss, and say, you know, we've earmarked 50,000, and that's the max that we're going to do this year.
Okay,
Is that an option?
yeah. Yep, fair.
I'm just
Okay.
throwing it out there. I don't know.
Okay.
For
I can do that.
2025.
Because then it would show that you're only 5,000 in the hole, not 55.
True, okay.
In 2025, we didn't have the generator budgeted,
No.
doesn't look like.
You're right.
And we still
No.
did it, so.
Yeah, that,
I kind of like Shannon's thought, although I would suggest 40, so we're 5,000 in the
He
green.
just wants that positive number.
I lost
Well,
my first battle.
If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do that, to me,
Make it
it's
zero.
going, it's apples, but here's what I would say. If you're gonna do what Shannon says, then fine, cut it to 50. And then what you do is go back and work on your interest number
Okay,
and, put only, let's say, 100,000 in your checking account and put 400,000 in that. And, would you say you have 275?
the interest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then see what that number is, and then I have a feeling that'll net you out to, a positive $800.
Just leaving 100K in then, right?
For
The
what?
account, in the account and investing the rest?
Yeah, well, we currently, we have 18,000 in there,
Yeah.
right? So we don't keep $500,000 in that checking account.
Yep, okay,
So that's not a realistic number anyway.
yep.
And the other thing that the finance committee should consider as well as the board, if we say we're budgeting $50,000 to approve for a request, then that's the number, not 100, not 200, that's the budgeted number.
Well, I understand that. However, it's a nebulous number. We don't, to say,
It is nebulous if you're
Well-
getting it down to zero and you've got a break-even budget.
fair
Anything
enough.
above there would be considered, you'd be dipping into a negative. So my opinion is, we're prepared to authorize up to $50,000, and there would have to be some special circumstance to go over that. Sometimes you just have to tighten your straps, and we need to be tightening.
Okay, we're not a corporation that is a for-profit corporation.
Oh, no,
We're
no.
here to support our community.
That's absolutely correct. However,
And
this has
so,
got nothing to do with.
I'm not gonna say no to somebody if they come to us and say, we have this tremendous project we wanna do for 100,000. We go, no, we only budgeted 50.
Well, at the end of the day, not-for-profits are supposed to break even. That's what they're supposed to do.
Again, I just think that, again.
Then let
we
it
can
be a
do
strong
that.
guideline.
Well, every budget is a strong guideline, but again, I'm not gonna say no to an opportunity for someone to better our community because we say, no, we're gonna break even this year. That seems to defeat the purpose of why we're here.
If we do that every year, then we'll have defeated the purpose because we won't have any money left.
How about we ask our CFO for her opinion on that? You wanna weigh in, Shannon? Not that you wanna get in the middle of this over here, but.
No, I don't want to get into this. This is not my area. So it just depends what the mission is that wants to be accomplished during fiscal 2026. Now, if you had a project come in and say you cut that number to 50 and the number comes back in at 100 that somebody needs, it's up to the board to authorize that. You can do, not that, this particular entity does budget modifications in like the sense of like a government, but the board could say, okay, we're gonna authorize it and we're gonna take it from our net assets because that's technically your reserves. So you could make that change at that time, should something warrant and you feel justified that that money needs to be spent. But again, it has to go for approval, which everything does. So it's really just semantics, I think, at this point, whether you want the budget to have a certain negative number and state that, we are prepared to use our net asset reserve to fill that void between the revenues and the expenditures, or not.
So it sounds like we're back to where we started.
There's no project really that's even being thought of,
I
so
understand.
I
I'm
think
just saying
either
that
way, it's
For me,
fine, but
if
you
a
just
budget-
have
if
to
a
understand
project
that
comes in and
the
they
negative
see
number
that
is
we're
gonna
do
use your net
$100,000,
assets
they'll come in
and
100.
theoretically your
If they see our
cash
budget is 50, they may come in
Which
at 50.
is
We
mostly
just have to be
tied up in
careful going
CDs.
over
So
it.
you'd have to make sure that
Just
timing of
watch.
all of that is correct when you pull out. from the CDs. And you don't want to lock yourself into having no cash, either in your operating checking account, which you guys are probably going to be pretty tight by the end of the year.
Oh,
Because you're averaging about 10,000 in shared costs with the IDA and some other stuff. So if you have 18, you're gonna put another 17, you got 4 months. You're really gonna cut it right to the wire. unless you have something else come in.
Well, again, we have more CDs coming in every 3 months, so we can
Yep.
scrape the interest every.
No, I know, you got another one at the end of December, I'm just saying you're gonna cut it close.
Okay,
So we getting here?
am I putting 50,000 in?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Got it, okay. That's everything for OCFC, that does, project for 26, and you see the subsequent years. Obviously, we'll know more as we get closer, then we just had to provide something for Paris. That's the proposed 2026 to 29 budgets for OCFC.
And we're not taking action on that today.
No, taking the revisions, any of the feedback we have, and I'll present what I hope is a final version in October. We do need to approve it, the board needs to approve that at our next meeting, because it needs to be entered into Paris by November 1st, I believe it is. Yeah, it's 90 days before the next fiscal year begins on 1/1.
All right. Anything else that we need to talk about for FC?
No, sir.
All right. May I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned for FC.
Got it.
Now we got. All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Orange County IDA Finance Committee meeting. The time is now 4:40. Can I get a roll call, Bill?
Sure, Mark Green,
Present.
Jeffrey Christ,
Here.
Linda Muller,
Here.
3 out of 4 members present. For staff, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, Caden Jones, our counsel, Lino Sharetta, Rudy Zoda, and our CFO, Shannon Manisi is here, as well as our monitor, Brian Sandvich. That's everyone.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's get into new business. Shannon, can you talk about the August financials, please?
Absolutely. So in August, there was a $2,500 application fee for Cedar Lake Estates. So with that and the management fee, income and interest in the brownfield revenue, total earnings are 9686.91. For expenses, you had a new policy that bumped your monthly insurance up. So that's just an allocation for the prepaid. And it was a month overdue, so that's kind of double the number for the month to get you caught up for that. So it should go back in line next month. Normal standard IT and marketing, nothing new there. And your legal, you had legal counsel of $12.24, just general counsel, and you had labor auditing fee for Legoland of $14.70. Nothing else is out of the norm for the monthly expenses. So total expenses were $52,304 for a net loss of $42,617.22.
Any discussions about that?
Any questions on any of those?
No.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, so bank accounts. The operating account had $159,000 in it. The escrows are down to $20,736.
Yeah, I want to make
And
sure.
you
we're
had
Hold on.
Shannon, I'm sorry, hold on one second, I want to make sure.
Sorry.
Actually, let me jump in, and
Yeah.
this first page you're seeing, this was another piece that the Finance Committee picked out last month. There was an error on the maturity date, was it, for the 9-month Provident Bank CD?
And
So
the
you-
interest rate.
Oh, and the interest rate, right, so you're seeing that corrected in yellow on page 6 of your
Oh,
packet.
Does that need to be approved
Yes, you
before I go on to the?
can prove it afterward, but you can
We
keep
do it
going.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're on to
Okay.
page 7, the August cash and equivalents, please, Shannon, where you
Yeah.
were.
So that's okay. The CDs are $8.8 million. Again, you have one that's maturing next month, the 9-month at Provident. So you had a little over $9 million in cash and CDs.
So, same scenario. This time it's the top line, you'll see October 12th, 2025, Provident Bank, again, 3.85%. We can, if we commit, we can lock in the 3.9%. Do we all agree that we should
Yes.
continue to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent.
Will interest keep us going cash flow wise for the IDA?
Now, we,
You said, Mark, you said that we'd get 136,000 for interest plus the 159, which is almost 300,000.
Thank you.
Quick answer, right?
She's good. She's got her abacus out there. Those beads flying back and forth.
So that should be adequate.
That gives us over, close to 300,000 to December,
Hmm.
when the next one comes due, so I feel pretty strongly. And the other thing that Kelly has brought up several times, by keeping one of our assets in this T-bill, we can take money out at any
Oh.
time without penalty.
I didn't realize
So
that.
heaven forbid something happened, we wouldn't be penalized and we could just immediately, liquidate 100,000 or whatever.
yeah, not the entire investment, we can keep the rest of the investment in there, so.
And that might be something to keep in mind in December, that maybe we take a slightly lower rate, but to ensure that we have that flexibility and liquidity. So Linda, I'm gonna ask you to remind me.
I'll be happy to do that, Mr. Chair.
So I'd make the motion, we go with Provident Bank for 9 months at the 3.9%.
Is there a
Second.
second? Fantastic. Any other discussions?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. All right, vendor list.
Do you want to ask questions on this? Do you want Kelly to go through every line by line? No?
No.
They all look pretty much where they should be, so I don't see any that jump out at me.
The only thing I want to bring up, Mark, if it's all right.
Yeah, please.
Is, for this month, since they changed the coding for the Ramp credit card, you're going to see each individual charge on here. So you'll see like a charge for Adams Verico Farms. Instead of us clumping it all together, you're going to see the individual charges.
Understood.
But everything else is pretty much regular monthly stuff.
All right. Are there any questions about the vendor list?
No.
All right, then, before we move forward, can we get an approval for the August financials, the correction of the July bank CD, and payables for September, August, September? And we've already done the CD.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. So we're good. Now we can spend a few minutes talking about the budget.
Budget, we can.
Okay.
Terrific, okay. So again, we're looking at the green column for the most part, 2026 proposed budget. For closing fees, I've got 4 projects closing. Actually, one is sizable, $1.5 million that's in the pipeline right now. And then 3 others that are real that we're looking at in the pipeline. So that's what comprises that $1.98 million in closing fees. Application fees, that's 4 at $2,500 for $10,000. Management fee, again, that's calculated based upon the shared expenses of 14% from OCFC. IDA admin fees, those are kind of the transaction type fees that we talked about in the fee schedule. And we are combining these 2 line items. Shannon and I worked on this, IDA admin fees and other IDA fees. We're going to combine those. The other IDA fees, I had 4 terminations in there for $10,000 and other transactions for $10,000. Those are those fees. Interest earnings, this is based upon 2.75% of $6.725 million being invested. That's roughly $9 million minus $1 million for shovel ready. 2.275 million left in the checking account, But investing again, 6.725 million at 2.75% results in the interest earnings you're seeing
Yeah, I mean,
projected. I can tweak those too.
No,
gladly.
no. I mean, it is
This is before the interest rate cut.
exceptionally conservative, I think, but that's fine, keep going on.
Kind of the direction I was trying to go. Pass-through fees of $2,500, shovel-ready reimbursement. This would all be for our EPA brownfield grant that we're expecting heavy expenditures of around $200,000 in '26, and we'd be reimbursed for all of that. So that's recognizing the revenue coming in on that. Moving into expenses, salaries. That's budgeting 5% raises for all full-time staff, as I've been instructed to do. What happens is based upon what's approved later. But 5% raises for full-time staff plus an intern for 8 weeks. That's where that salary figure comes. Employee benefits, payroll taxes, and fees are all kind of relative to the salary line. So those are in line. 401k retirement, also in line with what we've been contributing recent years. Deferred compensation, that's another one where it's discretion of the board, of course. But I've been asked to budget that amount so that at least it's in there to be discussed for any deferred compensation. Fiscal audit, assuming we're continuing on with the same cost structure there, 19.5. Insurance, it's what we've been paying plus adding an increase to our umbrella coverage from $2 million to $3 million. That was recommended by council based upon the litigation that we were involved in, so that really our coverage should be higher, and adding cyber insurance, something that we actually just applied for, and we'll have more specifics on the cost on that. So that's the increase there. Also, just our bookkeeping in line with what it's been. The monitor, just assuming a number below what they're authorized to bill us of $225,000. Professional fees, that's mostly para support. It also, right now in there we have fees from our retirement administration and stenographer in there. We're going to be looking to try and put things like stenographers in project expenses. I do want to be able to kind of be coding those where they belong. Office supplies and postage, a little less than last year because we purchased computers this year, so it's going to be a little higher than it will be next year. Down to legal counsel, we'll actually have an additional expense for legal because of the work we're looking to do for shovel ready. We'll talk about this at length, but looking to set up a local development corporation to have a little separation from the IDA and give us be a little more nimble. So there are expenses in setting that up and managing that. So we do have additional expense for legal really related to shovel ready work. Here's the other end of the legal pass-through for application fees. Labor monitoring, remember that the applicant now under our current fee schedule, the applicant pays for the local labor monitoring. We are still monitoring Legoland New York, which should be finished at the end of this calendar year. So that expense that you're seeing up to this point is mostly for Legoland monitoring. So we expect that to be phased out by early '26. So I just have a small amount in there for that. Cost benefit analyses, and continue to try and budget for those. That's $7,000 for one project and $3,000 for another based upon the size. Shovel Ready program, it's the expenditures going in for the EPA grant. And then Shovel Ready 2, which is again yet to be discussed. That's kind of a refresh on the Shovel Ready analysis that we had done by Delaware Engineering, so looking to re-up that. And then $1 million for potential Shovel Ready expenditures, maybe ideally on securing site control of one or more properties. So that's why that's hefty budgeted there. Getting into building expenses, this is just our rent with a 5% increase in CAMs. Utilities, it's a 5% increase over 2025. We have less repairs and renovations, just have a couple $1,000s in there. We're done with our painting and some of the other work that we've done when we did the carpet. Maintenance, that's cleaning plus $1,000 for other use. Internet and telephones at basically the same rate we've been paying. Down to agency support expenses. IT support, again in line with what we've been paying. Marketing PR, that's it basically in line, but just trying to do a little bit more work on PR. Promotion of positive news around the IDA. Membership and events, This is incorporating some conferences, and 2 of us going to the New York State EDC annual meeting, to their Economic Development Conference, 2 going to the Innovation Summit that Jeff and I went to last year, and 2 at a industry sector-based conference. In this example, I use Semicon West, semiconductor conference, 2 of that. So that's cross-country, so a little more expensive. And then I have money in to do a sponsorship of one of these events if we want, like New York State EDC, we've been trying to support their efforts. So that's what comprises the membership events. Training and education, just try and keep that number in there, mostly for Paris and other reporting type of training, really ongoing operational support for the admin staff that they've been receiving the last couple of years. That's total expenses. So you're seeing a net surplus of $125,359 based upon those projected expenses and revenues. Any questions?
I'm good.
Are you serious? You're not gonna ask a question?
No, I'm good, it's a plus number.
There we go. I know where her heart is. Okay.
You are an interesting person. I'm just gonna say that right out loud. You are an interesting person. All right, if there are no comments, I will say, I like being conservative, right? Because nobody gets upset if we make more money.
Right.
Everyone gets upset if we make less. I will say at some point, if we are in June of next year, and FC, I mean, there's a moral issue I have. If FC still isn't making money, I understand your concern, but I also have to question, is it the IDA's responsibility to carry the funding corp? I'm not sure. And we can argue at a further time, or not argue, but have a discussion at a further time. And maybe that is something that we do reevaluate. But I'm gonna hold out hope that we close a deal in 2026, and that we can justify it being its own viable organization. Was that a decent enough compromise?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
So, Mr. Chair, I do have a comment.
Yeah.
Just quick, we just have to remember that budgets are roadmaps,
Absolutely.
and that we should probably review this 6 months in June, see how we are, and if any adjustments need to be made to the budget.
Well, I mean, I would hope that we do that.
Well, I would hope so too. I'm just saying for the record, I'll remind you.
And no doubt, I mean, that's why I try to look at these budgets and I don't get too uptight, because it is a roadmap. And at the end of the day, I feel strongly that our role here is to do what's best for the county. And there are times where, if the opportunity arises, we will do more for the county, and there are times where it ebbs, like with the FC, and we're just not getting that interest. And I don't know, maybe that's something you ask about with all your friends around the state, because I'm really wondering if this is a systemic situation. I mean, is the FC something that is maybe phasing out? I don't know. Maybe it is time to kind of ask and look in the mirror and say, what is this organization? And why aren't people taking advantage of it? Are there other opportunities for them so they don't see it as a viable reason to use it?
Right.
So I think it does bring up very interesting discussions. We have about 3 minutes. Let's get going so we stay on track. Are there any further discussions that need to be had? Fantastic. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?